Some folks will say, oh, winning ain't all, but I know it is all. At the end of the day, no one looks at the loser. So that is why we play to win. The great Vivian Richards. Hello, welcome to Get Real with Shameeza. I'm your host, Shameeza Ali, and it's truly an honor to be here with you this evening. I would like to start tonight's show by saying how grateful I am for this opportunity to be your host. What started off as a simple way to bring awareness and enlightenment has now turned into something that I never imagined possible. Never have I ever thought that I will be hosting guests with such talent as Ramnaresh Sarwan and KI on the same platform. And then to get noticed by the media for it. Thank you, Guyana Chronicle, for carrying our story and also believing in us. We are growing, we are striving, but we're just getting started. Tonight, as we honor fathers, let's take a moment to reflect on our lives and the impact our dads have made. Let us be reminded of the joys our father has created for us as kids. For me, having a father who never made me feel I was limited as a girl has enabled me to be the woman I am today. Thank you so much and welcome. First, let's go ahead and welcome my co host for tonight, George Baksh and Aftab Shamsuddin. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you, Shameeza. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for being here, Aftab. It's an honor to have you here with me tonight. I guess George is having some technical problems, so we'll see if he is able to join us later. How are you feeling today, Aftab?
I'm excited. Ecstatic. It's nice to be here. Really
It's
good.
definitely an
Friday
honor to
afternoon.
have you here and to have all of these very talented guys to be on the same platform here tonight. As the Chronicle newspaper has said, it's a group of talents really here with us, joining us and showcasing who they are as individuals and how cricket has made a difference in their life. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, I mean, on a Friday evening, in the month of June, a lot to be excited about.
Definitely.
COVID coming around, and like you said, a lot of talented individuals that are gonna be on your show tonight. It makes for an exciting evening.
So there are a couple of things that I wanted to really first of all, I wanted to ask our viewers to take a moment and just like and share our page with your friends and family. We want to be able to continue bringing you these live events, all these talents and all these inspirations, but for us to do that we really need to be able to have a lot of likes, guys. So continue to like and share the page with your friends and family. If you're enjoying it, we're happy to bring it to you. So please continue to like and share. Another thing that I wanted to just touch on is we are changing. We heard you. You have said that everyone is saying that it's now summer and they will like to go out and enjoy the weather and enjoy the evening. So we are changing it from Friday to Wednesdays. So starting next Wednesday, you can join us on Wednesdays for Get Real with Shameeza. So no more Fridays. Go out and enjoy your Fridays. We will be on Wednesdays. That's one of the things that I wanted to bring to your attention. And then the other thing that I wanted to really, thank you guys is that you guys have been here with us. It was about maybe I think it was about 3 months ago when I made my first announcement that I was starting this. And to be honest with you, it was just something to bring awareness to the community and really help people to share their story. And today we're actually doing good things, and I'm excited. I am, words cannot describe how I'm feeling today to see that we're getting noticed by all these important media houses, and I'm excited after.
And that's good. I mean, I was chatting with you earlier this morning, and the stories and you shared with me are inspiring. It's great to see that you've created this media platform for people to come and and let you know who they are, and not only you but our viewers to learn from them, hopefully get inspired, motivated, and do great things. I mean, individuals, no person is an island. So, when you create this platform and this community and sort of a social media society, it makes for a great beginning to a great end.
Wow, Aftab, looks like you have quite a few fans over here. I see Sabrina over here. I thought I was her favorite. But then she says, who are favorite Canadian cricketers? So, Sabrina, come on. I have Crystal, who's also from Canada, and she's saying, oh, I think this one is meant for me, Aftab. I'm not sure if, it could be. It could be you're looking beautiful too. But she says, hey, good evening. You look beautiful. So if it's for Aftab, I'm sure he's saying thank you. And if it's for me, thank you, Crystal. It's an honor to have you here with us tonight. Sharda is joining us here in the US. Sharda, thank you so much. My dear friend Mona Lisa Jai is joining us here in New York as well. So thank you guys so much for being here. um I wanted to move on because it looks like since we have such a talented panel, you guys are all busy and you have things that you need to do. So if we have Sarwan available right now, I'd like to bring Sarwan in. Can we bring Sarwan in, guys?
Hi,
Hey,
hi.
welcome.
Good evening, guys. Good
Good
evening.
evening, Sarwan. How are you?
I'm good, not bad at all. Just came across from the gym about 45 minutes ago. So I'm doing pretty good.
Great. And, I want to first thank you for being here. I know you're super busy. I spoke to you earlier and I know you had a lot going on. So, taking the time to be here with us and just, uh, ready to answer a few questions because our questions are not going to be very easy. I know I have a few of them for you and I have some for you. So, it's not going to be easy. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, most of the times I'm ready for questions. Hopefully, I'll be able to handle
I,
them. But I also want to congratulate you guys on the wonderful job that you've been doing. So continue to keep it up, and of course, hopefully, you guys will get better at it.
Perfect. Well, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. It's truly an honor to have you here. I mean, I thought it was just me, but then when Chronicle notices that we have Sarwan on the show and they think it's a big deal, I guess I don't have a choice to accept that it is a big deal. Right,
Yes.
After?
Oh, oh yes, most definitely. When you told me that Sarwan was gonna be on, I asked you. I said, "Why would you need me then if Sarwan's on?" I mean, the stage is all his. But
The more the
welcome
merrier.
back. It's good to have you. I mean, it's my first time being on here as well, and like you rightly said, Shameeza is doing a great job, and we're looking forward for great things from her. But great to have you on.
So,
Thank you.
Sarwan, you are an elegant right-hander known for your excellent footwork. You were the mainstay of the West Indies middle order throughout most of the decade of the 21st century. You have scored over 13,405 runs playing for the West Indies national cricket team. That's an accomplishment.
Yes, I thought I could have scored much more than that if my career had prolonged for a bit more time, another 3, 4 years probably. But nevertheless, I'm grateful for what I've achieved. Obviously, I played for about 11 years and I was able to perform fairly well. So I'm pretty happy with the stats I've got. Like I said, maybe if my career had prolonged a little bit more, I probably would have scored a bit more runs.
Well, you're still very young. I know next week you're
I'll be
celebrating your
41. I'll be 41 on the 23rd June. I've already retired, so don't even go there.
well, there might be some questions. I don't know. It might not be from me. It might be from Aftav. But hey, we'll see what happens. So, I know you grew up on the island of Wakenham. Can you tell us a little bit about what that was like?
I left there when I was very young, actually. But I was back and forth. Of course, when you move to the city, you always have your grandparents. My grandparents were actually living there for a while with a few of my uncles and aunts. So I would always go back during holidays. But most of the times, like just like every other childhood in the country, you climb trees, you play in the trench and stuff like that. It was no different. When I started to play cricket, I used a coconut branch, and I got that from when I wasn't waking up. So I mean, it's just like every other young kid who have grown up in the countryside. And you are also from Wakenham, I was told.
Yes, I actually spent about 10 years of my life in Wakenham, and there is no better thing in Wakenham but coconut. Come on. Coconut is a thing in Wakenham. You know, we have so much coconut trees there. We have so many planters. So if you're in coconut in Wakenham, coconut is definitely a thing that you know a thing or two about, right? So using a coconut like branch to play cricket is it's definitely not something. I think a lot of kids probably still do it until this day. So I also, like I said, I spent 10 years of my life in Wakenham. I truly enjoy being on that island. Uh, so living there, I saw the struggles of the kids to attend high school, where most kids had to ride many miles to get to school and back. With struggles like this and many more that young people on the island faces daily, how did you overcome this to become one of the most successful cricketers?
Well, like I said, I moved to the city when I was very young. I was fortunate. And then I was able to attend this Telemar's primary school where I was given the opportunity to first play cricket. So I didn't really get the opportunity to experience those sort of difficulties. But I
Right.
think growing up in the country and looking at those people or kids who have grown up there, obviously it kind of set them and kind of framed them for the future. So what we may think was probably difficult, I'm sure that was something that they would have enjoyed, like riding to school and walking together in a group. Because I think with this day and age now, you don't really find too many people walking to school together. So I think those are days that obviously you would enjoy, and you tend to miss a lot of the stuff that happened in your teenage years when you take a look back from then to where we are now.
Yeah, we've definitely come a far way, right? But I know it's still a struggle for the kids there on the island to ride to school. They actually have bicycles and they ride all the way. It's miles and miles to ride to, and I have quite a few people that. So the struggle in Wakenham for these kids are very real, and I hope eventually we're able to do something for these kids and really find a way. But uh, Aftab, do you want to go ahead with the question?
Yeah, thank you, Shamiza. Rani, when you started and you said your career lasted 11 years, did you ever dream or had you ever set a target of how many years you wanted to play, or were there goals in life? And this is for the kids that are listening. How did you went about your career, and what expectations did you had for yourself?
Well, when I started and I got the opportunity, there was no intention of me thinking to play for West Indies. Because at a very young age, all you're doing, you're playing because you love the game and you're active and you're enjoying being around your friends and so forth. But I can recall when I was probably 15 and I was at GCC, the Georgetown Cricket Club. Carl Hooper saw me for the first time, and he said to me that one day I'll be playing Test cricket, and that kind of changed my whole perspective in terms of how I started to look at the game. And I always wanted to make West Indies cricket team by the age of 19. I achieved that because I made it when I was 19 actually, and then like I wanted to play until I was probably 35. Of course, I played until I was 31. So that's why I said if I'd been able to play for another 4 years or so, I probably would have scored a few more runs. But I think what is important, you must set realistic goals if you want to, especially as young people, you don't want to be thinking too far ahead. I think when you set goals, you want to be able to set them phase, and it must be able to adjust as you go. So if you don't achieve it, you must also don't feel disappointed. And of course, if you achieve it, you also want to aim for higher heights as well.
Thank you for that. I hope that the young kids are listening and they've learned a little bit of what you said. Now, what were some of the difficulties in throughout your career? What were some of the things that you had to overcome? And I know Wakenham, of course, you spoke about that a little bit, and then move into town. But give us some practicalities in some of the difficulties you had to overcome while playing, and things, if I may add, like injuries. Everybody has different opinions, different individuals that you might have met along the way that might have been critiquing you from a positive or a negative perspective. How did you deal with some of these things, and what were some of them?
In terms of the critics, I've always ignored it. Luckily I've been able to deal with that over the years pretty good. But I think the biggest problem I've had over the years is my injury, my chronic back injury, which has hampered me throughout my career. It was first diagnosis when I was 20 when we toured Zimbabwe in 2000. Since then, I've never really been 100% in terms of physically with my back, because at any point in time, it could practically give away on me. And now, presently, there are a lot of stuff that I'm restricted to do. Even when I wake up in the mornings, it's pretty difficult. I would have to roll on my set and so forth to get off bed and things like that. But I think in general, I've never really had any issue with anyone apart from the Chris Gear saga when I became a coach. I've fairly get along pretty well with everyone that I've met along the way, and I've met some really great people and good people from various countries. So I'm grateful for that because cricket has given me an opportunity to meet a lot of people and make a lot of friends, and it's also given me everything that I've got today.
Oh,
Wow.
thank you.
Well,
Thank you
well
for that.
said there, Ronnie. So what I'm hearing is that there is still a possibility that you might have a 4 year that you can come back to play because you ended at 31 and you were hoping to end at 35. So there is a possibility that you might still want to play for 4 years.
Yes, stay ball cricket or bumper ball.
Perfect. Which brings me to my next question. In May 2000, your test debut against Pakistan at Barbados, in a match in which you were unbeaten in both innings, including a first innings score of 84 not out. What was this experience like for you?
It was obviously very pleasing, but I must say, leading up to that test match or test series, I had the opportunity to play against Zimbabwe, which I done fairly well. So I was pretty much my confidence was very high because I scored back to back 100 against Zimbabwe. So my confidence was very high. So going into that test match, I had everything that I wanted, which is confidence and of course feeling comfortable at the crease whenever I get the opportunity to bat. So, well, I think for me, what I will always remember the fact that I had the opportunity to play against Wakar Yunus,
Hmm.
Wazim Akram, Mushtaq Ahmed, and Sakli. And of course, I've played against Razak over the years. I became through the ranks of under 19 cricket, also with Shahid Afridi. So, but the fact that I've had the opportunity to play against those guys, it was really pleasing and something that I remember and cherish for the rest of my life.
Wow, well said there. In June 23rd, 2006, your 26th birthday. Do you remember this day? And tell me what happened if you do remember it.
Um, I scored 100. It was against India. I think it was 116. I think it was. And I think I hit six fours in the same game as well. Am I right? It
Exactly. That is correct. That's a day that you hit
was
six.
played in St. Kitts, correct? It was played in St. Kitts,
Exactly. That's a day that you hit six fours in one over.
correct. Against, I think it was Munaf Patel, yeah, the right hand
It
fast.
was against Manaf Patel. What was that like for you?
I mean, it wasn't something that I set out to do. I think in situations like those, it's just a natural instinct that took over. And was nothing that planned. I think my body and my mind was just reacting to whatever was bowled to me. It so happened that at the end of the over, it came out to be all six balls that I hit for four, and I had the opportunity to hit the seventh one for four, which was a no ball, and I found the field at gully.
Exactly. And it also happened to be your birthday,
Yes,
your
correct.
26th birthday, right?
That's
So
right.
was what did you having your birthday and that day having your birthday, did that have anything to do with it? Or you just didn't plan it?
No, I didn't plan it. I wish if every day was my birthday because no,
Because it seems like on your
it wasn't anything planned. I just think it was a game that a regular test match that we played. And I wanted to do well for the team. And regardless whether it's my birthday or not, my mentality have always been that way. It so happened to be that I was lucky enough to score it on my birthday.
perfect. Aftab, you want to go ahead and take a question?
Yeah, I've got one last question for you, and I want to stick it with a little bit of relevance. We've got um, Virat Kohli, you've got Kane Williamson, and you've got Barbara Azam, three respectable individuals in their respective rights as leaders. Um, what do you think make them so special? I mean, it might be critics might say, well, you can't really rate the three of them together or bring them together, but if there's one thing that brings them together is that all three of them are leaders and all three of them are talented. Do you think that the world has seen the best from them as yet, or do you think that these guys will produce a lot more, and when they leave the game they will be one of the best that ever played?
I believe they have a lot more to do. I think there are three different type of players. I think obviously they're very prolific. I think Kohli is the one that really stands out, and because of the amount of damage that he's done in terms of his match winning innings. Of course, we know consistent Kane Williamson is. And he's been very dominant at international cricket, whether it's the one day T20 or the, of course, Test match. And now, as Babar is starting to find his feet, he's been very consistent for the past couple of years. So I think that all three of them been very prolific. But if you're going to pick one, I would go with Virat due to the fact that he's performed so well over the years in all three formats. To have that sort of consistency and hunger to do that day in, day out, game after game, year in, year out, I mean, it's quite amazing. And he's also changed the temperament with Dhoni in terms of the way India think with the way they play. And not only with the way they play, but also with their fitness, which I think has really made an impact when it comes to their cricket. So it's really pleasing to see that those three are performing really consistently. And I think there's one player there who we probably didn't mention who've been up there with them as well, and that's Joe Root from England.
I'm with you. Thanks, Ronnie.
Uh, Speaking of performing well and talent, tell me what it was like having your best innings, which was 291 against England in February to March of 2009.
Yes, that was in Barbados.
Yes,
Um,
it was in Barbados.
Luckily, I've started that tournament in Jamaica and I'd scored 100, then we went to Antigua. And I
Hmm.
also scored a 90 on 100. I think it was in the second innings. So when we were in Barbados, a friend of mine, we were actually going up the elevator, and he said to me that I need to score 100. I think I was a 180 out or something like that, not out.
Right.
And I said, listen, don't worry about it. I can guarantee you, I score triple hundred.
Wow.
So really and truly, I wanted to get that triple hundred, but I fell short by nine, which didn't score the triple hundred. I'm pretty grateful for the 291, but I was pretty happy with the way I played throughout that series. I've been pretty consistent, and prior to that series, I think I was in New Zealand where I had a horrible time. So I wanted to make up for the tour of New Zealand. So happened that I was able to score a few runs against England in that series.
A few, 291.
Well, I'm grateful I was able to score 291 in that game.
Great answer. So look looking back at your illustrious career, do you have any regrets? Is there anything you wish you could go back and change or do differently?
Probably two things. I would probably play the hook shot less, and I would probably try not to get run out so often.
Was it often?
Yeah, I got run out about 11 or 12 times, which is a lot when it comes to international cricket.
Now, when I look at
Quite a few times as
your
well.
history, I know that you were a great batsman, but you're also a bowler and a fielder.
I wish if I'd played for 4 more years, probably then I would have been great.
See, there's something there that I'm thinking you have 4 years more to give to cricket.
Maybe coaching, not physically in terms of playing. No.
Speaking of coaching, a lot of the guys that we will have later on, we have a few guys that are in coaching. So you'll be able to experience that, get an idea of what they do on a daily basis in coaching. Is that right, Aftab?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. We've got a few guys in Abdul Samad, aka Bordy, great
Okay.
coach. He's actually had helped me over my career to be able to make it to a different level. After he toured South Africa with the Canadian team and came back with a lot of tips. So, but he's doing a wonderful job, and we'll have him on later. Ronnie, one quick question: what do you think is next in West Indies cricket? What can we look forward to? I mean, we're all West Indian on this show, and yes, we've spoken a little bit about England, New Zealand, and India and Pakistan. But what is it for West Indies? What's next for them? I mean, a region that we love and we hold so dearly in our hearts.
Well, I think ultimately we all want West Indies cricket our players to be consistent and to perform. But I've said it numerous times, talent alone is not going to do it for us. We've always produced talented players. I think we're at a stage now where we have to find proper facilities and get proper coaches, try and enhance the coaches around the Caribbean So whenever these players are not playing international cricket, they have quality coaches to help assist them. And of course, we need better facilities. I think Mr. Skerritt and Mr. Shallow have been trying their utmost best in terms of trying to help the players where they're having a mix of guys with in terms of experience and younger guys. But I think once we continue to do those things and we try and have better facilities and try and get these guys to understand the importance of working in their game, I think we have an opportunity to turn the table. But that's not something that's going to happen overnight. That is something that needs a long term plan to ensure that the players can be developed and be ready for international cricket. Because we have our challenges with first class cricket in the Caribbean, where we don't have proper surface and it's not up to the standard in terms of batting and bowling. Our surfaces is predominantly suitable for spin bowlers, and yet we're trying to produce fast bowlers, and we find it very difficult. When our spinners get the opportunity to play at the highest level, they also find it difficult to bowl to other batters because they're so good at playing spin as well. So I think all in all, I just think we need to ensure that we get better facilities and get the players them to understand the importance of working in their game.
Thank
So
you.
well said there. After, did he answer your question in
Yes,
terms of what?
definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
So, Sarwan, now that you are happily married, you have three kids, two sons and a daughter. How has this changed your life?
Since I got married, it changed my life. I think totally differently now from when I used to, or when I was younger, when I was playing the game. I've got a
Yes.
responsibility of taking care of my three kids, and of course, I've got a beautiful wife who's been very supportive. She does all the schoolwork with those kids, and she has practically dedicated her life to those kids in terms of bringing them. So I want to commend her. I think she's probably looking, so she would say because
She's
she's
definitely
looking.
watching here tonight. So good
She
night
would
to
say,
you.
she would say I'm complimenting her, but I just wanted to know she's been doing a great job. In terms of the two boys and the girl, we've been blessed with three lovely kids, and I try to spend as much time with them as I can. Because majority of the time, when I used to play, I used to be away from home and stuff like that. But soon as I get the opportunity and I'm not doing anything, I try to go back home.
Perfect. So, what is your advice right now to young kids that is faced with challenges today? What is your advice to them?
Just don't give up. I think it's important that you set your goals and you work towards it. You will have challenges,
Hmm.
which is normal. I think when you want something, it doesn't come easily. Um, you got to work for it. You got to put in the work, the dedication,
Hmm.
and ensure that you set your goals. Even if it's small goals that you need to set and you need to achieve them, you work towards that. Just have that never die mentality and just work towards it, stuff that you want to achieve. I've always carried a quote with me, and I received it in 2000. I think it was 2002 or when we toured India.
Hmm.
A young lady had sent me a letter. I struggled and I didn't really score much runs against India in the Test series, and she sent me a quote that's saying, "The greatest fear of failure is being afraid to fail."
Wow,
And
that's powerful.
I've always lived with that and approached my life with that quote.
Well, if that young lady is watching you today, or if she ever sees this, what is your message to her? Because I know that is strong. That is a strong message right there.
Thank you, because it has changed my life, and I went on to score a lot of runs in the one day tournament that we played against India, and since then I've approached my batting that way, and I've also approached life that way.
Perfect. And then I have a couple of questions quickly from some of our viewers. I have Sherry Mohammed. She asked, "Have you led any initiatives to help young cricketers in Guyana? And can you tell us, if you have, can you tell us more about what you have done?"
I've reached out to Barbies quite a few times. I've made donation to Mr. Foster, and I
Mhm.
tend to support more cricket in Barbies rather than Demerara, because there was an illegal regime here in Demerara, so I didn't really wanted to support them. So I kind of supported the guys in Barbies.
In Bur- Okay. In I have another question that this one comes from Muhammad Ali. He asked, in 2003, West Indies versus Australia in Antigua. The West Indies won a thrilling match, which is still the highest successful run chased in Test cricket. However, the match was more memorable for the exchange of words between you and Glenn McGrath. What is your recollection of that match?
I can't repeat what we said to each other for sure right now. Obviously, we level in the first inning score. Both teams score. I think it was 200 and odd, and then of course they set a total of 418. And it so happened Shiv and myself, who were both Guyanese, scored 100 in that game in the second innings, and we were able to win the test match. Was of course the highest test runs that we ever chased down, and I think it still remains. Um,
Yes, it
at the
still
moment.
does.
Still stands, yeah. But it was of course a team effort because Vasper Drakes and Omari Banks and those guys contributed. But it's always good to be a part of history, and I was grateful that I had the opportunity to play in that game.
So you're telling me that's your most memorable, giving us a recollection of what happened in that match. Nothing
Yeah,
against what
one
happened.
of five was yeah probably my best innings. Also, I think the altercation with Mr. McGrath as well stood out actually more than the one of five for some people. But
Yes.
yeah, but it wasn't something that I really wanted to happen.
Yeah,
But in the heat of the battle, I mean, things happen. So I did apologize to him because I didn't know the situation with his whoever said what and whatever I said. But I'm grateful that we both spoke about it and we forgive each other.
definitely. Well, thank you. Forgiveness is quite important in the world that we live in today, and I'm happy that you were able to do that. Aftab, I think it's only appropriate that you introduced our panel of guests that we have
Okay,
coming on tonight.
thank you very much. So for the viewers who are watching, we've got the honorable, I should say, or the great Sarwan, and then my countryman and village person Gajanan Singh. Um,
Welcome, Gajanand.
Thank you.
Got
no,
you look wrong, right?
It's New York boy.
uh, and we got the great Abdul Bord, Samad Bordi, all the way from Albion, and
Welcome, Abdul.
and
Thank you.
and
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Dylan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you guys
and
for having
and we got the youngster Dylan, all the way from Dong Tong Saudi, Esiquibo.
Now, wow.
That's a good one.
us.
So welcome guys. Good to have you on the show, and good to be here with you guys.
Thank you, Aftab. Thank you, Shameeza. Sars, nice listening to you there, bro. Dylan, everyone. Looking forward to a good chat here.
Well, it looks like Gajanand, that kind of bring up some memories there, right?
Yeah, I really liked watching Sars and Shiv and Carl Hooper and these guys batted when I was younger, growing up watching TV, and you always aspire to be like these guys. And Sars the true role model when it comes to a batsman, and I think his record shows for itself.
Perfect. Well said there. Uh, Aftab, you can go ahead and start. Do we still have Mr. Haley with us? Is he here with us tonight? No, he was having some technical problems earlier.
Okay, cool. But we could go ahead and start. I mean, I'd like
Yeah,
to
go
start.
ahead.
I like to start with well, the guy in the middle, the guy in the middle, Bordy. You've played in two World Cups, in 2003 and 2007, and playing in two World Cups, living in Canada, is definitely an outstanding achievement. How did you feel? What kind of work did you put in? What are some of the memories you have from these World Cups?
No, playing two World Cup is always a blessing to play cricket at the highest level. In Canada, you only play cricket like 3 months a year, and it's not easy. So, like to just get up in the winter time, especially, it's tough. -30, and you got to get up 5 o'clock in the morning and go to the gym. It's not easy outside with ice and everything. So, but success is uphill, and it's not easy. So you just got to get up and deal whatever comes with it.
No, you had a great role model in your life, and I mean, he's no stranger to many of us here. Fazil Sattar, also known as the Terminator. I mean, was your game modeled towards him? I mean, you're the younger brother of the Terminator. Did you model your game like his? Were you a different cricketer for the viewers that are listening?
Oh, definitely far is like day and night. You know, he's something special. You know, growing up watching him play, and you know, it was just amazed to see how he can go out there and just hit any and every ball whenever he chooses. You know, whenever he feel like to get going, he would go, and it was just special to watch him. Comparing my game to him is, I will never compare because you know he was always my role model, and he will always be. You know, he's someone special to me, and I'll just leave him like that.
And how special was it for you to have been a teammate of him in 2003 in South Africa? I mean, was it very calming for you to be, I mean, probably the roommate of him? And, was there things that he told you to keep you calm? Because you guys did pretty well. I mean, the Canadian team beat Bangladesh.
Yeah. You know, to be room when you have an older brother, it's not that easy because everything you do, you know, he always look over your shoulder. So your time in the evening, it's different. You got to be in the room. After dinner, he always there with you, so you're not allowed to do anything crazy. Um, but you know, he always advise you. Like he wasn't just a big brother, but he was like a dad too because from very young age he used to take me all over the place, and he you know he was always make sure at every single game that he played. You know, so for me it was just a blessing.
Thanks, Bordy. I appreciate you answering those questions. And quickly before I move on to the other guys, I know your son is deeply involved in the game. Do we see a rebirth of the Terminator in him? Because I've watched him a few times.
um he have potential, but you know only time will tell.
All
Terminator
right.
3, why?
Terminator 3, yes, sir, that's true. And I think Sarge, you would know a little bit about Fazil Sattar. I mean, you were probably a youngster, but you probably heard the name and know of him when he played for
Of
F.
course, I played with him when I was very, very young. And you rightfully say he was a bully, very gutsy. Um, I think that's what stands out. I think Abdul knows him very well, of course, but I think generally he was very gutsy.
Absolutely.
So as a kid, I looked at him a lot as well.
All right, cool. Thanks, Sarge.
Very nice. We'll move on to Dylan. So, Dylan, you've played around the world. Which country excites you the most and why?
I would say I've played. I mean, I played cricket since I was a kid. The first place I started is Trinidad. So what we used to do, we used to go to Trinidad and play club cricket, and then I move on. I start going to England and play. I played in Middlesex. I played at Basingstoke. I've played around. So, but my best place I've played cricket so far, I think, is probably England. That
England.
yeah, that was my best country I've played.
Is
Why?
there a reason why?
So it's because in England, like first thing the conditions nice, the ball come on, and then like growing up, you playing on grounds that like it's like a carpet. You hit the ball and everything is just nice, a different atmosphere, and you're playing amongst like you're the only like overseas player, so like everyone looks up at you to be the one that coming out with being the good performer. And I've had experience playing in different clubs, so that was something that I feel like
Perfect. Now, did you pick up any of their accents in England, in London?
I did for a while. I
Can
mean,
you?
not really, but yeah, I was yeah I was going to I probably went to England about 5 years. I was going there like for a few months, 6 7 months a year. So
So
yeah,
you know where this is going, right? I was going to ask you to give us a word, but since you spent 5 years, we're going to ask you for a sentence.
so
Guys, we're good, right? A sentence or a paragraph?
hey mate,
I'm good with that.
hey mate. So they say, hey mate, you're gonna have a pint of beer. So
Yeah.
the thing was like the thing in England was that they used to do like English dinners and they say points like after the game they
Yeah.
they, they have points and stuff. So But I was not a drink type. You know, I used to drink my lager. They had a thing called lager shandy, something mixed with beer. So that was my thing. I was not a type that used to drink. So
So you didn't have a cup of tea, mate.
yeah, of course, a cup of tea.
No cup of tea and cookies.
Yeah, yeah, no, I did have tea. Yeah.
No, I do see one of my dear friends watching from London. So thank you for joining us. I know it's probably like 1 or 2 a.m. in London right now. So thank you guys for being here with us. Um, Now, you have migrated to Canada recently or for a while now. What made you want to move to Canada when you had some of the best days of your life apparently in London?
So like I know, I mean, growing up, like coming from a Sikrovo, you know, I always wanted to have that experience and opportunity to play cricket around the place. So my main like you know back in the day back home people say oh I want to live America. The dream was American dream. I want to go America. I want to go America. You know that was that was the kind
Definitely.
of everyone. So like since I started to get the opportunity, I go Trinidad and I go England, and like I have a lot of families that live in England. You know, so that was like an extra plus for me. But then in 2013, that was my last year of not going to England. Then I got the opportunity to come to Canada and play for a team called Islanders. And then I came back in 20. I came here in 2014 to play for Islanders. Then I came back and played for Vikings. And from 2014 to now, that's when I'm here. But my dream was not to live in Canada. My dream was to live in England. So but then when I came to Canada, you know, I was like, you know, it was getting at a point of my life, like I wanted to, I like the country, you know, I was thinking it's more of a country of family and, you know, your future here. So my thinking is just was on a different level because the reason why I moved here to is because, you know, cricketing Guyana at that point, it was getting kind of tough, you know, so my thing was not much of getting away from Guyana, basically. So I came here think with a different thinking of not to be more into cricket, but I'm rather more into family and you know have a good job and proceed my career on a different path. But cricket found me back here, so I'm stick to it at the moment. You know.
Great. Now, you say cricket has found you. What are some tournaments that are coming up that you will be playing in, and should we look forward to?
So I have the GT20 that was to play in Malaysia, but unfortunately because of COVID. So that was one. I have a tournament in the US. I have a tournament in BC. I yeah yeah. So that's I have a few tournaments coming up shortly that I've been you know trying to prepare myself and you know put myself in order. You know talking about that. I mean I've been working. Bird Abdul you know been doing a lot of work with me like remedial work. We've been working together. You know he has an academy that you know I'm there with the kids with him and you know teaching and learning a lot from him because he's more experienced you know to that level and since I'm there with him you know I've like he showed me a few you know things that back in the days and like I've like working with myself after and just realizing you know, it's been working so me and Board we've been doing a lot of work you know with myself and with the kids and even after you know he's there, you know, and so we always around. You know, we are more close and more doing a lot of work. So
Speaking of coaching and doing a lot of work there with Aftab, I know Ronnie said earlier that he was looking forward to maybe coaching someday soon. What advice would you give to him?
going on the coaching actually,
Well, I don't know if I'll be looking forward to
Ronnie,
coach.
Ronnie coach, Ronnie was my coach for the second year in the GT20. You know, what I mean, Ronnie came as a coach for my team, which was Montreal Tigers. So he was one of my coach in that year. So I mean, he come as I've played against Ronnie and with Ronnie, and you know, growing up, you always want to be amongst these guys. I played with Gajo and against Gajo. So you know, but it's good that I've learned a few things from Ronnie. Since he coached me, we had a lot of talking and kind of get a bit closer to him and like he showed me some different things in a different way. So, but I was looking forward to him to probably coming back. Maybe I don't know if he would have come back this year or whatever. I was looking forward to see more of
Another
you.
two cool by.
Yeah, in the coaching.
They're good
Yeah,
right now,
Ne-
Rodney. Don't worry.
welcome, welcome, Frederick. How are
You
you?
you appear from man.
The party is about to get started, guys. Here we go. How are you feeling, Frederick?
he might.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Might
Might
be
be mute.
you might be hearing us, but we can't hear you.
It might be muted.
Yeah.
Oh. So we'll try to
Well,
see if we can get him back in. Um,
Old school.
yes.
that's cool. Yeah.
To wrap up with you, you spoke of coaching and all of the great things playing. What excites you? Which player excites you the most? And what is one thing you've learned from such huge tournaments that you've been in, Dylan?
So, um, so the first year I've played with a lot of players, in the GT20. That was the
Yes.
first year I played. I played. So I played with Malinga. He was my captain. I've played with Sunil Narain. I've played with George Baker and all these guys. That was like something big. Being amongst all these the big name in the GT20 and the world. Of cricket. So it was a great pleasure of just being around them and just learning from them and just sitting together and having chats. So that was the biggest thing that I've like since I'm playing.
So, which player excites you the most?
So my exciting player, I mean, well, some of the guys know me. They call me Big Six. So my exciting player is Chris Gale.
Chris?
So I was actually in a game we played against Vancouver, and I was bowling against Gale, right?
Yes.
So I think he hit me for like probably 2-6 or 3-6. So the third ball, I was like, I gotta take his head off. So I bowled him a short ball, and he ducked. So he came up to me, he's like, strong man, strong man. I was like, in my mind, I was thinking, because running in and bowling to Gale, it's like bowling to like AK-40, like just like a rapid fire. Coming at me. So Gail was always one of my person that I look up to, in that part.
Well said there, Dylan. Aftab, go ahead and ask the next question. I think.
I just thank you for having some patience with us. I know that you've been sitting there for a little bit. Um, and knowing you for a bit and been following you, and I mean we're from the same area in Guyana, Kanji, and you growing up in Cumberland. I know that you guys resurrected a ball field in front of your house after decades of it being abandoned. What inspired you guys to do it? And I know that ground and that club went on to produce international cricketers like yourself and Hetty Maya and so many others that played through that clubs. What inspired you guys to do that, and what inspired you to start playing?
Thanks. It's okay. After I have patience. I can listen to SARS and these guys talk about cricket. Um, the club started, I think, in 1996. Some men in the village, actually, my father and some of his friends, Uncle Chris and Orin Archer, and a couple of these guys. They started cleaning out the field so their kids basically could get somewhere to play. And from clearing the field little by little, and having we had a man called Bongar, who was actually my great uncle. He um he was the one who used to prepare pitches and stuff for like when they had first class games at Albion and Blairmont and stuff.
Right.
And he started making the pitch there, and from then on it just became a thing that everyone look forward to every day.
Excellent. Now, Gaji, you made it all the way to the 2016 under 19 World Cup. What was it like
2006.
for 2006? Sorry, 2006. Yes, I mean, sorry for that, and thanks for the correction. 2006. I'm trying to forge your age there so the
What?
West Indies Cricket Board can take notice, hopefully. Anyways, but how what was the experience like for a guy, coming out of Cumberland and making it all the way? What was the experience like, and can you share it with the youths?
It was great. After I had a wonderful youth career. Playing cricket for Guyana, I played 3 years under 19 for Guyana. I had good success. I you know, getting selected first of all to play for West Indies at any level was a good achievement. I was very proud of myself, my parents, and everyone I made proud, my coaches and everything. So it was really really good. I thought it was an experience that opened up my eyes to see that there was a lot more to cricket than playing in Bordeaux or playing for Guyana.
Okay.
Wow.
And and you went on to play CPL recently as of what, 2016, 2017?
I think it was 17 and 18.
17. What was that experience like? And I know you were living in New York at the time. I'm thinking, and at that, and you still got selected to play in the CPL. I mean, what would you have done to kept yourself in? And I'm asking this question because we're having this show in North America, and there's a lot of kids that are playing the game in North America, and the game is growing as Bordy can tell you, being an academy coach. Um, how do you get into the CPL and playing in leagues in North America? What would you do?
Um, I moved to New York in 2013. After spending 2 years in New York, I was missing Guyana too much. I didn't within that 2 year period, I didn't go back at all. I was basically playing in North America because I just started a family. Um, I went back to Guyana in 2015. Just out of curiosity to see what's up and see what could happen. I got I played some trials. I didn't actually play any games for Guyana from when I went back in 2015, other than CPL, which is basically franchise cricket. Um, I 2016 I got invited to tour Trinidad with a DCC, Democratic Cricket Club team, and for the I think was the University of West Indies tournament. I scored 650s in 6 games, and I got a call from Omar Khan, who was the manager for the Amazon Warriors team, and he was asking me about my situation and where am I living and stuff like that. I told him I was living in Guyana because I was in Guyana at that time.
Okay,
Um, then they told me they would, to put my name in the draft, and that's how it happened.
great. Now you are listed among the 44 probables in the US. Um, is that as exciting as it is, being drafted into the CPL and the 19 World Cup? How do you feel about that? And have you set goals for yourself and probably making it onto into the final 11?
Listen, I still didn't have a chance to play international cricket. I think living here in the US, the opportunity arose where I was given the opportunity to be a part of a national squad, a national setup, which is a lot bigger than people think about it because it's labeled as North America and USA cricket. We have a very good staff with the USA team, with our head coach being an ex-Indian first class player Arun Kumar Jagadesh, and he has a very good support staff with Bert as our one Bart, an Australian. He's our fitness trainer, and a few other guys who are doing a lot of work with us. Guyanese Kevin Darlington, he's a assistant coach for the national team here, and he works with me a lot in New York here.
All right. Thanks, Gaju.
Perfect.
Thanks for answering those questions, Shamiza. It's over to you.
Sh- Perfect, guys. I have a quick question for Ronnie, and this is from one of our viewers. Shazila Ali is joining us from Canada. It's funny that she's asking a question to for Guyana when she sees all of these Canadians here. So here we go. This is for Ronnie. What support does cricketers receive from the Ministry of Sports in Guyana?
Well, recently I think they have donated some gears to various clubs. I think the biggest challenge we've got here presently is obviously the COVID situation, where you really can't do much as a group. Um, so in terms of the government or the minister providing gears for the players, they haven't really. Well, I need to say that he has given out cricket gears to clubs,
Right.
but I also think there's things they're putting in place to provide gears for the younger players that's coming through. But so far, my personal opinion with the young minister, he's been doing a very good job. He's been very proactive in assisting sports in general.
Perfect. I hope that answers your question, Shazila. Guys, as we observe Father's Day in honor of fathers all around the world, what is your message? As I know most of your fathers here tonight, you have moved on from the cricket part of your life, and your fathers, you're enjoying a family right now. What is it like being a father? What is your advice to fathers out there?
Skip, you lead.
I hope it's similar to the question from Patrick.
Seniority, bro.
I think
Seniority.
he has the most as well. He has three, right?
I truly felt this was going to be like a serious question. You guys going to give, and now everyone's laughing.
No, I think it's my person is my greatest achievement. Obviously, I've been lucky to marry to a really good woman. And like I said earlier, we were able to get three beautiful kids. And I think it's important that fathers play their role. And I just want to encourage those fathers to continue to support their better half and
Yep.
ensure that they support their kids. Because I think ultimately, you want to ensure that you have a happy family, happy wife, happy life.
Great advice, dear Ronnie. You can speak to my husband a little bit later on, unless he's watching right now. Aftab, do you want to answer that question next?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you put me on the spot, I will definitely. I was hoping the other guys would. But for me, honestly, Father's Day is every day for me. And I think that my father has been the greatest mentor in my life. I am a replica of who he is physically, mentally. And sometimes I try to think like him. He still schools me. I'm 43 years of age. And, it's a lot of lessons that he still has to offer for me. And I think that it's an everyday thing. It's something that, even though it's celebrated once a year and people try to remember about it, in my life, I like to think about it that I honestly I wouldn't know how I would handle it without my father being around. He's 71 and he still lives with me, and I don't know if it's him living with me or I'm renting from him. So that's the kind of relationship we have. So it's been a special ride. Yeah.
Wow, nicely done there, Aftab. Gotcha. Then go ahead.
Um, um, for me, I'm thankful for everything that my dad has done for me. He's the one who introduced me to cricket, and he's showed me a lot of things that you can't learn from no one else but your dad. With that said, I'm a father now, and I just want to be a role model for my daughter of that a father should be, and hope that I can lead her in the right path.
Great. Thank you. How about you, Abdul? Are you a father?
Oh yeah, for three of them.
Three.
Yeah, a boy and two girl. Um, you can't write a book about how to be a dad.
No.
Everything you do, it's all reaction. And one, if I have to give somebody advice, the advice I'll give to myself is that spend as much time you can spend with them, especially when they're small,
Hmm.
because there come a time that they're gonna be in the teen, and then they're gonna have their friends, and they're gonna want to hang out with them, and you're gonna miss all this opportunity. We all play cricket in the past, and we had our turn, and now it's our kid turn. And it's
Yes.
about them now, not me. So for me, it's I don't. I'm like, after, I don't think one day is Father's Day. I remember one time I said Happy Father's Day to my dad, and he says, "What happened to the rest of the days?" And after that, I never say Happy Father's Day again. So enjoy your kids. They're only 110. They're gonna be one, and 110 they're gonna be two. So as a dad, I would say enjoy every moment.
Perfect. How about you, Dylan?
Yeah, so my I have a son. My son is 5 years old. So I mean, as we say, father is a role model of a kid, and as Bert say, you want to spend as much time with the kids. I mean, you want to enjoy them when they're younger, so then when they get older, they probably don't even want to be around you or whatever, be more with their friends. So it's good to be a dad, as like as I always growing up and say, I like somebody to call me daddy. When I speak to my son, he say the first question he said, "Daddy, where are you? What are you doing?" That's two questions he always asks me. So it's good. I always I like my son. My son is like my life. He's my
Yes.
life. I want to be a good dad to him and want to be a role model for him. Try to guide him in the right path. He's a very loving kid, so he's all I have. So
Perfect. Well said there, guys. I wanted to share something with you. My experience this week, and I didn't necessarily have to do it Father's Day. It was my son. My son does virtual learning, and as I was listening to him, I actually sit with him. He's 5 years old, and I was sitting with him. They have words that the teacher teaches every week, and so this week, that specific day, the word was week, week. So the teacher says to the kids, she says, "Kids, go ahead and make sentences with the word weak." And one child shouts out, "My dad is weak." With that said, happy Father's Day to all of you guys. I wish you the best and thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye,
you.
guys. Bye bye.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Thank
okay,
you.
that's how it is.
See you guys.
Bye bye.
Take care.
And so, guys, we want to go ahead and welcome my next guest. My musical guest is talented, he's energetic, and he is a true entertainer. He's one of the most requested crossover performers at major festivals or carnivals worldwide. Please welcome KI.
A pleasant
KI,
good evening
welcome.
to you, Shameeza. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I am excellent, thank you. It's a quiet Friday evening as it has been for the last year and a half.
Quiet for sure.
Yes,
We
sir.
we had to find things to do here in New York, so we decided to start a show called Get Real with Shamiza.
And I've been seeing it. I've been seeing people commenting and talking, and I must say congratulations to you on that. Well done. And the pandemic sort of bred so much more room for, sort of gave so much more room for creativity, and I saw a lot of people not being shy of that at all during this time. So congrats, and I must commend all of you guys for doing such an excellent job. And these things are so important to culture. So definitely thank you again.
Well, I'm grateful for the opportunity, especially when we get noticed by the Guyana Chronicle. I'm not sure if you saw the article,
I did,
and
I did, I did.
to have Guyana and Trinidad represented so well here, for me it was just supposed to be a simple show where we have, I mean, you're not simple, and Sarwan and these
That's
guys that
simple.
I
Love it
we're
simple.
not, I'm just simple, and to have you guys, I guess they thought it was something big, right? And it
That,
is.
it's just a pleasure for me to be here. I must say, Ronnie and I, Mr. Saravana, is a very, very good, old and good friend of mine as well. And it's just a nice coincidence that we happen to bounce up here tonight too. We haven't gotten a chance to hang out, of course, in about 2 years.
Yes.
He hit me up a few months ago, I believe, yeah. But it's about time. I think we do a line maybe in the next month as well too. So I'm looking forward to that.
You know what? You really should. You really should. And when you do, send me photos.
I will most
Or,
definitely. I
or you
will.
know what? Better yet, you can tag me.
Until I come to the States and you come to the show.
Yes, that too,
That sounds
that
good.
too. So, we've had some major things happen recently. Like you said, the almost a year and a half where there was no civilization. Now, what is the current state in Trinidad?
With regards to the virus, from the inception, from March of last year into most of last year and some of this year, it was fairly low. It was fairly controlled, and just
Yeah,
maybe about 2.5 to 3 months ago, we started seeing, maybe 2 months ago, we started seeing just a rise in numbers, and it wasn't just a rise. It was one of the biggest rises throughout the pandemic. Um, in ratio to population that we saw with any other country in the world. So our numbers started being just a bit way too high, and we're trying our best. Well, they're trying their best down there right now to handle that because I am in Toronto as I've been here since the pandemic started, so I haven't left. Yeah.
Oh,
You
okay.
thought you thought I'm in Trinidad?
I thought you were in Trinidad,
No,
but
no, no,
silly
no, no,
me
no, no.
for thinking that way.
No, no, no. I'm at home in Toronto here, which I do live both places, but my family's based here, and I came up here right after we finished a post carnival tour in Suriname last year, and I've been here since. So I keep in touch with my bandmates, with my friends and my family in Trinidad, and they're trying their best down there, trying to get a mass vaccination going as soon as possible, and trying to make it work. I know they're facing a difficult time, hand in hand with some other problems down there as well too. So it's going to take a minute, but we're just hoping for the best and praying for the best.
Well, I hope and pray for the best for Trinidad and for Guyana. We've been we've had a rise in the cases of COVID. We've also had a lot of flooding in Guyana. So to Guyana and Trinidad, two places that are very dear and special to my heart. I wish you well, and hopefully, we can all get back to some normalcy soon. And if there's anything that I can do, I'll be more than happy to find ways to help. So
It's excellent of you.
yeah, let's talk a little bit about you, Ki. So you tell me a little bit about, you were one of the first winners of Children of Mastana competition.
I was the first winner, yes, in
The first
1995.
winner,
Yes, yes,
yes.
the inaugural competition in 1995. And
1995. How old were you then?
I was eight. I was eight. I couldn't even reach the key. I couldn't even spell keyboard probably, but I played. I played, and I did place first in the prelims and the semis and the finals, and that's where everything sort of kicked off that year. Yeah.
Wow. What was that experience like for you at 8 years? Do you remember it?
I actually have some pretty vivid memories of what transpired that year. I could still see a lot of it in my head. I remember what I was excited about, as you asked me. What was going through my head at that point in time was, it was just not that you don't like school, but it's just like, wait, time of school or time with friends, or we get to play music. I love music, but I don't know why I love music, and I wasn't so flexible musically just yet, now learning. So it was more so getting to be on stage and the attention from everyone, and then lifting up and feeling special, and it was for a kid in those days as well. It was pretty much the best you could get at that point in time, and we came from a time right prior to even cell phones and the internet. So it's like, we lived the end of that last era into the dawn of this new era too. So even at that point in time, there weren't cell phones or anything. So it was nice seeing yourself on the newspapers daily. At that point in time, I happened to win another competition. Um, Concurrently with the Children of Masanabar competition, which is called the Bal Vikas competition, which is a big school-wide competition in Trinidad and Tobago that's been around forever. And they entered me into it that year as well, and I happened to win that one. So it was both of them, and then it was a lot going on, but definitely I'll never forget anything about it. I remember
Really?
it was more so about like the Nintendos and like what the prizes would be, and a lot of fun like that, not knowing eventually that that innocent fun moment and those innocent moments would have been converted and translated into my life's career.
You said you can remember everything about it. What did you perform that night
I
at
performed
8 years old? What was
well,
it?
there were three. There was Jabukoi Bat in the preliminaries. There was Tuchis Badi Hemastamas in the semifinals. And it was Shava from the movie Suhag. Is that correct? Yeah, Suhag in the finals.
Suhag.
Yes.
I know the movie. What exactly did you perform from Suhag? Let's hear this.
That song, I haven't played it since I was 8. La 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 Suhag Shava la la yela karana, something like that. It was a long time ago, but that's what I played in the finals. Yeah.
Wow, great memory there.
Yes.
Now,
Yes. Yes.
in 2011, you became the first ever crossover artist of Trinidad and Tobago to perform at the world-renowned Madison Square Garden. What was this experience like for you?
It was surreal. It was surreal. I remember I was in New York City at the time when I got a call from Cappy. Also, my father, also the leader of the band, and called me, and he's like, Marshall's in Madison Square Gardens, and I was like, yeah, I know, that's gonna be huge. And he's
Yeah.
like, it's back there, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be huge. And he's like, they called for us to be the opening band to also feature on it, and I was like, this is excellent. What is this you're telling me? And from there, it was just a few phone calls after, and we're down on Pennsylvania Avenue in Manhattan at the hotel, waiting to go over to Madison Square Gardens, and it was just surreal. I mean, you saw this venue in movies, in concerts growing up, like always on TV, and you're always seeing the biggest names and the most prestigious acts going through this venue, never even thinking that, hey, I want to get there. It wasn't even a part of the thought process just yet, because you have so much more to do before you
Yeah.
even go into a venue like that. So, I wasn't there mentally yet. But when they said, hey, you get a chance to, taste it. I wouldn't say you reach there because you get to perform there, but you
Yeah.
get a chance to taste it. It was surreal. It was surreal. I was very much so appreciative of being accepted into such a bigger realm. It did a lot for my career, and it did a lot for our band, and it did a lot for us personally as well, as the dudes. Nothing is impossible. We started as a family home band in Trinidad and Tobago in 1977, prior to me being born, and through all
Yes.
those twists and turns and meanders and everything like that, I mean, we ended up here. And it definitely gave us something to look forward to and to work towards here.
And I know you come from a family of musicians, right? Your dad and his brothers.
No, well,
Your
it's
dad.
so my father's Virendra Prasad, and he is one of the dudes who's very much so responsible for the chutney soca art form. And I say that proudly. I don't think he uses those words if he describes it, but it was in the time of the late 80s, in the time of Virendra, Ricky Jai, and Drupati Ramgunai, and the three of them. That was the dawn of chutney soca music. That's everything sort of emerged at that time with their influence of adding the lyrics and the melodies and mixing them together. And my father adding the brass into the music and making Trinidad exactly what it is we boast that we are, which is one big mix-up pot of niceness from all over the world. And
Yeah.
so he's from that, and he's come a long way. He actually won Mastana Bahar 10 years prior to me in 1985, and I was born the year after. And he's come a long way as well. He's so, like I said, and being the captain of Trevini since the early 90s, 1992, 93, and up until now, now KI and the band rebranded, but of course,
Yes.
still same leadership and guidance and blessings from him. His sisters, of course, are dancers, per se, not musicians, and his Uncle Sital Prasad, all super talented and excellent people. And then, of course, some of my family that I didn't get a chance to meet, they had passed on prior to me being here. But my great great grandfather was a pundit, well known all over Trinidad and Tobago, from the grandfathers, I should say. There were a few of them on all sides.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of music that came down, definitely.
Perfect. Well said there, Ki. Now, so we're looking. I see there's a lot of people here saying that they love you. I see love a lot here. Um,
I can't
so
see the comments. So
I want to encourage people. Please send your questions in for Ki. Any comments, questions, Ki will be able to. He will try his best to answer those questions. And please like and share tonight's show with your friends and family. So, Ki,
mhm.
Anil Sukram says, "Them never see you a dance. Them never see you dance."
Arnold Sugrum looking for trouble.
Is
That is
is
my
that
best
a
friend. That is an original Trevini member, and one of my closest buddies. He know what he doing.
and this might be some controversy because I Ranjif is on and he says that he's here. You'll probably say that you one of your best friends there too, and I'll probably say the same thing.
Well, Rajiv and I call us one. We share the same birthday. We feel the same way about things. That's my buddy. That's like my twin from another mom, my brother from another mother, definitely. But I'm a twin man. And, but Arnold Sugrima, I haven't tell you something. Everybody in Trinidad right now on curfew, so they all at home and they cannot go online on this Good Friday. So they're
Oh,
sitting
so
there
we
watching.
captured all those people here
Yes, yes.
tonight.
I hope you're enjoying that bacon shack, Arnold Sugrima.
Anil, good night to you. Ranjiv, good night to you. I thought Ranjiv will be enjoying Anil's wedding right now.
I was supposed to be there, if I tell you, Shameeza, since the end of sometime last year into this year. But Anil wanted to bring the entire band, and we were carded to come over. And it was sometime around February. I said, Anil, I don't see it possible for a whole band being able to travel in June. It's too soon. We're not going to be out of it just enough yet.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that happened, and unfortunately, I still couldn't make it over there. I'm going to get my second back soon, and then we're going to start the traveling. So,
So
but yeah, man, bless you.
are you guys allowed to start traveling in Canada?
So we had some pretty tight restrictions. We had some pretty strict quarantine sort of guidance up here. So for the past year, once you re-entered Canada as a citizen, you had to go under a government quarantine. That was a minimum of $3,000
Mhm.
just at their hotel for 3 days, and then following that, you're required to quarantine for 14 more days at your own home. And that leads to complications. It was too difficult to travel, and then taking the chance with my son, who's
Same.
3 going on 4 years old, to travel and back and forth. I made the decision to stay away, and I thought it was the best decision at the time, and I still stand by that. So I haven't left yet, but my friends are all there in New York having the time of their lives, and I'm sitting here watching all these Facebook lives and everybody playing music and Ashton Ramdial and your whole team.
Yeah. So we've had our moments here in New York where we've done our quarantine. We've had our times here in New York, which was very difficult, but we looks like it's getting a little bit better. It's good to go out now and see there are people without mask. I'm assuming it's vaccinated people, and it's good to get back to some normalcy. We're creatures of habits, man. We have to be
I like
able
that.
to communicate and hug and really, enjoy each other. And I feel a year and a half felt like about 10 years. Uh
As if you don't
yeah,
mind me adding, especially Trinidadian and Guyanese people,
yeah,
we're very interactive people. That it's
we
our culture.
are.
Our culture is blanketed by interaction in the sense that everything sort of needs it. It's in everything.
Yeah.
It's in every formula.
But I wouldn't change anything about that, Kia. I truly love who we are
Yes,
as people, and I feel that's what makes us different, right?
I,
We're
I agree.
awesome people, right?
I agree. I travel all over the world and I meet so many awesome people and they're all so beautiful in their own way. But you see this easy understanding of happiness. That's what
Yes.
we as Guyanese and Trinis have been able to accomplish thus
Mm.
far. We were able
Yeah.
to turn anything into happiness, find happiness anywhere. The smallest things, happiness. The biggest things, happiness. But together we're strong. It's just we find, sometimes you could take, let me give you an example. Let's say you take two things that aren't really related, and then you take out two variables from them and try to match it together, but it's the wrong two variables. People mostly do things like that. In this
Yeah.
situation, it's like we're taking the best of the cultures in each country and then we marry them together, and it births happiness. And that's what we
Yes.
can do. Yeah.
There could have been a better way to put that. I
Thank
feel
you.
that's exactly you should patent that because I feel that's
Thank
exactly
you.
how it's come together. It's exactly. Which brings me to my next question. I will take this one from Fazina. Fazina is joining us from Canada and she says, "Hi KI, you recently collaborated with Vicati.
Mhm.
Any plans for more collaboration with Guyanese artists and when can we expect a new release from you?"
Okay, okay. So the
Mhm.
Guyanese artist part of it definitely will be collabs. As a Guyanese too, you don't know that. I spend more time in Guyana probably than anywhere else. But we're gonna have some more collabs coming soon. Tony Cuts and I are very good friends. Bacardi's my brother. All these guys are my little brothers, man. Uh, they've been doing excellent. They've been sort of guiding the sound and creating what the future is gonna sound like as well. Added to the things that we've already created. And for us guys, it's something that we look forward to. It's something, it sort of gives our it gives our foundation a little more support. There's only so
Mhm.
much that we want to expand onto different things in our career at this point in time, and in order to do that we need strong support for the foundation. And when I say support, we were that just a few years ago and we had to
Mhm.
play that role. It was a very important role, and these guys, they've come so strong and you couldn't be anything short of proud and excited for them. So, we're just pushing that energy, and definitely we're gonna have some more songs coming out. With regards to me, that's the thing a lot of people have been asking me, and yes, 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 I've been quite quiet, um, quite quiet. Two words mean two totally different things in the same letters.
Yeah.
Quite quiet. I've been quite quiet, but it's time to go back on the road now. I've been enjoying my time at home, my time with my family. I haven't said this publicly any yet, but I've been spending a lot of time finding myself as well, and there's always uh, not versions, but you're always growing, and sometimes you got to sit back and you got to just stop,
Mhm.
absorb, assess, understand, and move forward. And that's a lot of that's been happening while I've been home here as well too. So now it's time to go back out, and in 2 weeks from now I'll be dropping my first track, and I'm just gonna keep going from there.
Well said there, Kay. I've speaking of finding yourself, I follow you on Facebook, and I noticed that you've been giving advice to artists that are coming out, and you're very you're very, you feel very, your words are very strong, and you encourage them to really do their research, their homework on what they really want to be and how they can be the best version of themselves.
Yes.
What advice would you give for anyone that hasn't seen those posts yet, or what would you advise any artists out there that are trying to come from Guyana, from Trinidad, from the West Indies, that are trying to make it here in this world of soca chutney music?
So, Musa, my answer to this question would have been an answer that I gave for like the last 10 or 11 years, and it's going to change tonight for the first time. And this isn't the answer, the bubbly answer that everybody's looking for, but is the realistic answer. And at this point in time, what has happened to a lot of the younger guys coming up, we have focused and prioritized focus on social media and marketing, and we have lessened the importance of the actual art form, which is music.
Hmm.
And my advice to everybody at this point in time will always be, from now on, is just first, before you come out, before you choose your stage name, your sobriquet, unless you have one that your family used to call you, or before you have your ID, anything at all, you must learn your craft. You need to know if it's a piano you're playing, you need to learn these things correctly. If you're singing, you need to learn to sing. If you're singing on key, if you're producing, produce correctly. What we're having is we're having a lot of premature releases let's say, of products. A product could be a song, it could be an artist, it could be a group, it could be anything. But what premature releases does is it claims involvement, or it claims place in the actual industry, which is chutney soca. And when it claims place but it's premature, it does not stand when we have to stand together to grab a place in the bigger pictures, which are carnivals and festivals around the world. So when you're a weaker art form, we all know we feel the shaft, especially the main artists who've been working, because of no strong foundation.
Yes.
So I encourage, like I mentioned before, so everybody just to, you get a teacher, you learn the rudiments of music, you learn the basic stuff. Sometimes you want to learn a piano, you're gonna sit down for years playing this,
Hmm. Right.
and it's gonna be boring, and you're not gonna like it. But eventually, you're gonna be like, oh, but no, it's gonna be nothing and nothing for you. But it's important to learn.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Really do your homework, really know your craft, and
Homework,
and
homework,
perfect it,
homework,
right?
homework, homework. There's
Perfect
no
it.
better there's no better feeling than going out there and being confident in what it is you're able to do and why it is people are spending their time on you. Time is the most expensive currency. Time is you
Hmm.
can never get back. If you're asking people to spend their most expensive currency on you, be proud knowing that you're making them spend their time on something that's worthwhile. And it's a whole different feeling than looking the part and everybody around you having you feel the part. But when you go out there, you can't actually play the part. It's a whole different world.
Definitely. So this question here was meant to come, right? You couldn't do an interview without this question. So we have Farah asking, so Ki, this one is for you. So it's chicken curry, not curry chicken, right? She wants to hear it directly from you.
Ah, I know curry chicken. When I touched down in Shady Chicken International Airport or Liberty Avenue as of 2 weeks ago, it is chicken curry because that is not little guy. So I'll go with you all on it for, you know what, a matter of fact, let's call it, I'm going with chicken curry until September, and then I'll switch back a little bit.
We'll take that. We'll take that from you. Uh, so like you said earlier, you came from a family of incredible musicians and performers. Was there ever a time that you felt like you wanted to be something other than a musician, but felt obligated to stick to it so you don't disappoint your family somewhat?
That's like a two-part there. All right, so uh, let me get into this for you. There were many questions, but I was trying to figure out what was going to happen. Of course, it would have been at a younger part of my life. And when we migrated to Canada, it was right after the competition that we spoke of, the Children of Masana Bar competition
Hmm.
in 1995.
Right.
So at the end of that year, we came to Canada. And that would have been a time where I'm 8 years old, and now almost a teenager, and I'm in a brand new country, and the world was changing as fast as it's ever has at that point in time. The internet was coming, like I said, cell phones were coming. I remember going home and telling my mom, hey, my dad's traveling with the band, and going home and telling her, hey, Do you know they have movies on CDs now? It's called a DVD. And then I was like, I think those are the letters DVD. We come from that time. So,
Yes.
at that time, I wanted to get into computers, and I remember, and I'm not ashamed to say this. There would be times where I said, "Mom, I'm not gonna get into music or anything. I like computers." And I even went to high school for Cisco systems and computer programming and networking and stuff that I did not learn because what happened was, you see, what had happened was, no matter what, no matter what they put in front of me, this was sort of predetermined. This had to be this way. I could not have it couldn't play anywhere else. Some people, I believe that some people are just built for certain things, and I was built for this.
Well said there. And I'm sure you were because, your music is just incredible. And you as a performer, as a musician, you have shown that this is what you were meant to definitely do. And this is your purpose. So I'm happy that you chose this regardless of what you saw or what you felt like you needed to do. You chose this. So
I do,
thank
Shameeza.
you. I If you had to list 5 rules you'd like to live by, five
Wow, this
rules.
one, this one we should have planned out because this is gonna be tough.
No, 5 rules,
Five
simple
rules.
rules. I mean, it could be curry chicken, chicken curry, using those words. It could be anything you want it to be. If you had 5 rules to live by, what would they be?
My answer, you making me get in depth here because you making me think of things that that's always recurring inside here, and I guess those are rules to me.
Yeah.
Um, Let me answer this in my way. Is that okay? Shall we say this
Yeah, it's
maybe
your way. It's your way, definitely.
maybe
Yeah.
slightly different than you asked me, just because I wasn't prepped to list 5 things. There's one thing that I would, if I had a world stage right now and
Hmm.
the entire world was listening to me, there's one thing that I want ultimately, and I've only figured this out recently myself, and that is, don't get me wrong, this is not a pageant, or this is not my answer to that question. But I would want everybody to stop what they're doing and not curl. Stop what they're doing, and for a second, give time to the thought that every single one of us on this planet, no matter what we're going through, none of us chose to be here. And all of us belong to a sect. It's either we're brown, we're Caucasian, we're African, we're Asian, we're different things, we're religions, we're different. We're different in so many ways, in so many sects, and it puts us like sections, and it puts us into so many sections as we go on. What happens is it breeds a lot of differences, and with differences comes lack of understanding, and with lack of understanding comes hatred and division. And all in all, I think it's most important for all of us to realize that none of us chose what we were going to be. And
Hmm.
I don't think we should be subject to hate because of differences that we didn't even choose. I think we really have to stop and start understanding that all of us were just victims of circumstance, and we're gonna have to live our surroundings and how we were raised were based on our surroundings and how we were raised, and it's harder to change. But at the end of the day, people shouldn't be chastised as negative, evil, or bad, nor should we be coming down on people, but more so at this point in time, understanding people so we could spend time better because we're not spending time good anymore. We need to enjoy time. And that's what I would say to the world. That's one rule, not
You,
5-1.
that one rule right there has made up for the other 4 that you didn't mention. But I
Thank
mean,
you.
if it was well answered, and what you said is very, very important. This pandemic and everything that we've seen in the world recently, it has, I mean, if you're a human being and didn't go through the recent changes in the pandemic and didn't look at life differently, I don't know, I really don't know, how you're going to go about your life. But the pandemic has made me stop for a minute, and definitely not curl, but think about life, and
Yes, yes.
how I can be different, and how I can live every moment and truly be myself and truly be happy, because this is the life. We've seen people healthy and in the best of you know uh, thing, and suddenly they were gone, right? We have seen so much things happen in the last year and a half that I can't continue to live life the way I was living it, carefree and just live, because we have to live. I have to stop and think about every moment, who I want to
I
spend it with, who I want to speak to, and
I
how I
share the
want to
same
really spend my
sentiments.
time.
I
Yes.
agree 110%.
And so I'm
Really.
very
Yeah.
going forward, and then now that we're opening up back, I'm going to be very different than I was, uh, before, and it's definitely in a positive way. It's not meant to hurt anyone or to, it's definitely for me. I'm living me, my best version of myself, and how I can be happy. So it's kind of
Yes.
selfish, but it's definitely how I feel I should be living my life.
Let's go off on a tangent for a second, if you don't mind. We call it,
Yeah,
you might call it selfish, but if you look at it from this angle, if ultimately you're gonna find happiness in trying to make others happy, and in order for you to make people as happy as you can possibly be, you yourself have to be the strongest that you have to be. You're not being selfish. I mean,
yeah,
it's all perception. Perception is everything. But again, clean heart, best intentions for everybody. You try your best to take into consideration every single thing. Everybody has a feeling. Everybody has a quiet side. Everybody has things they're hiding, things they're going through. Nobody deserves to be afraid or to be sad or I mean, nobody truly deserves it. People call a lot of people evil or have bad traits and stuff. But really and truly, if you look at, I could look at myself. If you think about maybe your past, or anybody who's looking at this, you think about your past, I'm sure that all of us would have at one or two times at least in our lives would have done things that the public would not possibly say is the best thing, or we
yeah,
might have said things at certain times. And if we have to sit down and talk about why we did it now, probably based on the surroundings, the environment at the time, or whatever led us to do it, but it doesn't make us bad people. And we get to understand that for ourselves, and give ourselves consolation and excuses, which is not really an excuse, but it's true. What we're saying is the environment sort of, it led me to that. Doesn't make us bad people, but yet we're not applying that same perception, or that same direction towards other people. We're looking at them and saying, well, he bad, she bad, but we are trying to
hmm
understand that they too, just like us, environment, surroundings. And that's why we got to be a little more accepting, a little more understanding, a little more welcoming into, hey, listen, don't worry about the differences. What does we like to do together? How we going to spend this together? How we going to enjoy it together? Like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
If it's chicken curry or curry chicken, doesn't matter. We're all the
You can't
same. We
spell
enjoy
chicken
we enjoy
without
the chicken, right?
PI.
Our viewers are loving this. They said, "Well said, Ki." They're loving your thoughts and your
I'm, I'm
wisdom.
gonna, I'm definitely gonna look back at these comments afterwards.
Definitely, yeah. And one of the reasons why I wanted, and I stick to this part of the show where we're getting to know you as an artist, like who you are, because the music, everybody knows your music. They can go to YouTube, they can go all these different places and can listen to you. But this part for me is important because a lot of people think they know Ki, right? They think they know Sarwan, but they don't know this side of you. They don't ever get to see this side of you,
Mhm.
right? And so that's why this is important for me. I want them to see that human aspects of these people, who they are, how they live their lives, and what their thoughts are, right? And you just had some interesting thoughts and ways of life. And speaking of ways of life, we can't go on without you telling us how to stop and curl. Stop for
Yeah,
a
I mean,
moment
I
and
tell you,
curl.
stuff. How the stuff is like, if you're thinking of people like stuff,
Yeah,
kind of like.
yeah, exactly.
Cause I don't have no money. She told me don't worry, she don't want a house or a wedding. She just only called me for one thing. I said she only want me for one thing. I remember we wrote that song out of kicks again, just a few just 2 years ago. Fun, just having fun, Shameeza.
Really? Tell me
Yes,
about
yes,
this fun.
yes.
Your idea of fun is really fun. So tell me about fun for you.
When we did Stop What You're Doing and Curl, Vikas Sahade, who had traveled to Toronto, he came out here to spend a week because he was producing his song with myself, my brother, and also Maha in Trinidad as well. So he came out here to spend a week for us to write and work on it. And whilst working on his song one afternoon, walking along the living room downstairs in this house here, and we're writing his song, and then I have this melody in my head, and a friend had said it to me, and then it's just playing with words and ideas, and I was like, "We hear this though for my song though," and then it just bam, it just sort of, I went back into my idea for a second, and it all came together, and that was it. And I like signature things, Shameeza. So when I say signature, if you listen to a single forever, it's ticking, ticking. When that starts. If you listen to KI dance, everybody do the KI dance. So
Depends, yes.
I wanted something in this song. I wanted something to ring in the ears of people, separate from the chorus and the content of the song itself. So that's why I say, stop what you're doing and curl. And, all we do is this or some version of this or the other. If it's a love story or Guyanese kind or Trini kind or any kind that we
Right.
want to do of this we had. So I said, we ain't a custom branding this. I think we should brand it. And it was actually through some Guyanese friends. They say KI, we say curl. And I say, good, I like that because I don't know what we call it in Trinidad. We just say dance. So that's how it went with curl. And yeah.
So you seem to have a lot of Guyanese. Like you have that Guyanese connection with you, and you don't even sound. For me, you don't even sound like you're from Trinidad. There
I
is no
could
accent. There isn't. So
I
you
could
probably.
I could sound like I'm from Trinity if you want me to with it.
There we go. There we go. There we go. You now you're sounding what I expected you to sound like from like you're from Trinidad. But speaking of Trinidad and talent and you as an artist and everything that we just talk about, um, I do want to take you a little bit deeper. We have this little game here that we play. I get real with Shameeza. It's called 6 in 60. Basically what it is, it's 6 questions in 60 seconds. I'll
Sure.
ask you 6 questions, and it's random questions, very random questions, and you just give
Sure.
me answers that you think is appropriate. So I'll put a timer on for 60 seconds, and I will start the questions. Are you ready, or you
Sounds
need some
good.
time? All
Let's
right,
go.
I'll ask the first question and I'll start the timer.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite singer?
Nival Shetlal.
Naval. Okay.
Yeah.
And what is your favorite country to visit?
Barbados. Now, this is ticklish because I will live in Guyana. I will live in Trinidad. I'll live in Canada. But I spend so much time there through music that when I get my getaway, I go to Barbados. Let's go. So 60 seconds.
Cool. Uh, can you name an animal that starts with the letter K?
Okay. Kangaroo.
Kangaroo is correct, yes. What is your favorite feature of yourself? Come on, come on.
My ability. My KIs. Let's go.
One word to describe yourself.
Energetic.
Energetic. Wow.
Energetic.
We did
Energetic.
5 questions. The last question, perfect. Are you a coffee or tea person?
Tea. No milk. 3 sugars.
Very nice. You did it. 6 in 60. You did it.
It's funny you asked me that to remember on the phone call today when I was ordering the tea with no milk and 3 sugars.
Yes. All I
Yeah.
heard was Shameeza, give me a moment, and then I couldn't hear anything, and I'm like, what happened? And I, when you were doing that, and as I was speaking to you, I'm like, wait, I thought Trinidad was on a lockdown. How is he ordering food?
I just an hour away from you. An hour north.
Got it. So, uh, any plans for any future tours? Anything that you're going to be doing coming up?
Yeah, so I can let everybody know that we're definitely going back on tour this summer. I'm gonna be kicking off sometime in July, which I'll be dropping all the news and all the dates very soon. I was supposed to drop my first flyer 2 days ago. I still might tonight. If not tonight, it should be tomorrow. And we're just gonna start unraveling the dates or the entire schedule, the calendar over the next 2 weeks into 3 weeks. And as it comes along, it's a big process and it's a different process for everybody returning to work, especially in our industry. Every venue, every state, every city has different set of rules and a different sort of restrictions and the different ways for us to put together these events and make sure that the first thing first that people are safe and we're asking them to come out here. So we're putting all these things together, but there will be a summer tour throughout the states, and also I'm going to be hitting up Guyana. So I look forward to that. That's one of my favorite places on earth, and yeah, that's gonna be new music, new touring coming soon. There's gonna be a lot of stuff happening, and as post summer, hopefully we beat this COVID thing entirely, and we're able just to return to the regularly scheduled programming, the carnivals and the mashromanis and the everything without interruption at all.
Wow. I'm hoping for the same thing here, man. I
Yeah,
can't wait to get back to some normalcy where, you know, the kids have been home, right? I know you're a dad. And I, for the last year and a half, I've been supervising as a teacher, as a mom. I became chef. I mean, thanks to
you became
TikTok.
a chef. You
You
couldn't
know,
cook
I
before.
cooked, I cooked regularly, but now I'm like a professional. I do like lobster and shrimp burgers
Yeah,
and all these fancy things because I have a 5-year-old who makes demands and he says, it's like 1 p.m. and he goes, "What's for lunch, mom?" 5 years
yeah,
old and he asks what's for lunch and breakfast, at 8:30 he's asking what's for breakfast. He has to have his orange juice and then he goes right into the main course, like
yeah. That's good. That's
so
good.
I've been practicing on my different recipes and stuff. Thanks to TikTok, I've been able to, you know
Take something said. No.
TikTok, man, I
Did,
tell you,
did,
there's
did, did,
so
did,
much
did
things
you
you
make
can
that?
learn.
Did you make that feta block cheese with the tomatoes pasta thing? Did you do it?
I actually did. Yes, it was
Oh
incredible.
wow!
It was
All right.
incredible. I
Everybody said
have
that. Everybody said that.
My
Everybody
kids
said
love pasta, so I
that's
had
good.
to try it. I saw it, I tried it, and it was just perfect. So, um, it's for me. I've never seen myself being in a home with kids in a lockdown and just spending this time. I mean, it was incredible. I got to know my kids a whole lot better. These
Yeah,
little creatures, they're definitely unique and they're fascinating, and there's so much things because we get to observe them. All the things that for my older daughter Ariana, I've always had a nanny, and then for Adam, I've always had a nanny with him too. So
mm,
to have the last year and a half with him and with her, I've learned about how they're human beings. Like, they have incredible stories to tell, and they have this cuteness to them that I'm like, wow. But I'm enjoying it, but I'm also looking forward to getting out. It can get
yes,
overwhelming at times, and I'm sure most parents out there can relate to what I'm saying. You
yes,
have to
yes,
get
yes.
back out. I'm a creature of habits. I have to get back out. I have to be doing me, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it.
I hear you 110%, Shamiz. I'll add to what you were saying real quickly. The most beautiful thing I've ever experienced in my life is my son growing and experiencing things for the first time and putting thoughts and opinions to it, and how he understands it
Yes.
and what it is to him. Because to me, certain things are certain things, but it's different things to him. And it's never been so beautiful. It's a fresh canvas being painted, untainted.
Exactly. And I think we miss out on those things because going out of the home, working, and we miss out on so much. And being
Yeah,
able to really listen to them and see their little personalities and
yeah,
how sweet and how stubborn they can be, and all of these little things has it definitely has helped me as a human being to accept my kids more and understand them from a different level, rather than coming home at 7 p.m. and just seeing them and like, oh wow, great. You take them for that, you give them dinner, and that's it. And weekends you take them to the beach, but you really don't get to see the personalities of these kids. So spending
yeah.
this time was quite important for me as a father. I know they this weekend all the fathers will be observing Father's Day. What is your plans? Like, what are you planning to do?
I don't think we have much flexibility when it comes to plans. So I know we're gonna be home, but my 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 son already told his mommy that he buying me toys for Father's Day, and he's a smart man because for Mother's Day he make us buy Paw Patrol toys for her, right? Because he
Right.
knows we want to play with it. So this Father's Day, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some of his toys, some new toys that he wants, but for me.
You know what? Accept it, man,
Yeah,
because
it's sweet. It's sweet too, but
it is definitely sweet, and it's these kids they're growing, they're super smart, they have this uniqueness to them that I'm like, I wasn't that smart during my time, you know.
and And it might sound so, but we probably weren't because we didn't have access to as
Just-
much information as they do. They have
yeah,
handhelds, they have so many things. It's an influx of everything back then. If we wanted to know something, is as much as our family members know about it, or when you get to go to a library once a year.
for sure.
Yeah.
Now, what would you like to perform for us tonight? Give us a little bit of something.
I'll
What
sing,
was
I'll sing, I'll sing a few of my choruses that I know my Guyanese people go crazy, crazy for when I'm over there. Some of my favorite songs too. I haven't performed these songs in a minute, so
oh,
do excuse me.
we'll wait on you. We'll wait.
These are
Take your
these are
time.
some of my favorites. How could she say that's a playing she when it's she who wanted me? Oh, my baby, I just can't believe how you could do this to me. What you want me to do? What you want me to say? If I only talk, she want to leave me. I'll never do leave me.
Wow.
And then we have well, of course, the classics. I don't have to stay at home. I don't have to answer phone. I could have any girl in my car. Oh, I go be single forever. Oh, I go be single forever. And then, hey, you don't have to call me baby. You don't have to be my lady. We will never get in no fight. Hear me now. Then we be friends for the night. Cause
Yes.
when they asking me how I live been so nice, I never with the same girl twice. Yo, when they asking me how I live been so nice, I never with the same girl twice. And everybody do Shameeza dance.
Yes.
Was that your dance?
Yes.
That's your dance?
It's my dance going forward. Definitely like
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Those are some of the favorites. There's another. I say, my mother say that she in charge of finding me wife. Marriage to you, much for the rest of my life. That's after 1 year, my marriage was done. My mother chose the wrong one.
Yes.
After 1 year, my marriage was done. My mother chose the wrong woman. She Shameeza.
Oh wow. Now you're making me blush. You're making me blush here, Ki.
That's good.
That was awesome. Now,
Thank you so much. And sorry.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now I was gonna say, I am super excited to release this new music for you guys because a lot of people have been asking for KI, the womanizer, Sunita and Nadia, that KI, that original KI, and I
Yes.
have I have one for them, and that's what I'm mad excited about, and that's gonna be dropping just in about 3 weeks, a week after the first one that I'm dropping. So it's two back to back that we're gonna be coming with at the beginning of the summer, that is, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. I am probably gonna be more excited than anybody else here.
And you're not going to give us a little bit of it? A
I
little
can't.
taste?
I cannot. I not this one. My immediate team members made me promise that I will not.
Oh, okay. I
Yep,
we
yep.
will
And,
Me and
and,
my
and, and
viewers will respect that.
no, normally I would, and I like teasing songs and things like that. But this time I can't even tell my friends it or anything, man. I just gotta keep it quiet.
Oh man, that's some super secret there. So maybe after maybe before or after you can come back on the show, you can give us a little bit of it, and
I would
we're
love
looking
to be
for.
back on the show at any time, Shameez. If we want to touch base in the middle of the summer again or anything, you just keep in touch, and I'm here.
We have Savita sending you some love here.
That's the queen of the band, Savita.
I
How you
I
doing, man?
know Savita here. It's just an honor to have you here with us. Uh,
Savita. Sorry.
one of your very for me one of the songs that I remember, one of my most memorable songs of you is Ketsunita.
Yeah, that was the first song. That's where the whole
Give
KI
it,
started.
yeah,
I get Sunita inside my car with Nadia from Cuba. When I see them together, boy, it's turn up my pressure. I get Sunita inside me car with Nadia from Cuba. That was the first one. That's how it started. That was a what we call a mistake song. We almost didn't release it. And
Mistake song.
yeah, I was the keyboardist, right, for the band. I wasn't the singer, and I sang that song for kicks and for giggles and for fun. And we almost didn't release it, and we released it, and then KI just sort of
Blew
happened
up.
in its entirety. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Very, very nice. And from there, you never look back. That was about a little over 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, that would have been at the end of 2009 into 2010.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any regrets? Anything that if you had to go back and change that you will change?
Small things, but nothing that would drastically change the outcome for right now. Uh, I think everything in its due process, even if I may have said things could have been different, if I changed that, I think it would have changed the things that I do enjoy as well. I do believe in balance, and I believe that
Yes.
for as much good as you get, you must get as much of whatever the opposite of good is in that situation. So, of course, there will be times you sit back and say, "Well, I wish I could have do this again. I wish I could have do that again." But now I had real fun. I made sure to have fun growing up. A whole lot.
What is your message to young artists out there that are trying to make it in the business? What is your advice to them?
Stay positive, guys. Anybody's capable of anything, It's just you got to, like I said in the past a million times, you got to want it for the right reasons and go about it the correct way. You have the internet at your fingertips. So research, look at things, learn about your instrument, learn about your craft, and know it before you enter it. So when you enter it, there's absolute, almost no negativity whatsoever. I mean, you're coming out here to promote something that it's going to be that was here before you, and it's going to be here after you. Just like me, we're all playing a role in our little part, writing our story in this journey of something much bigger than us. If it is
Right.
you do learn your craft and you come out here, your contribution to what this is will be an everlasting one, and definitely one that people will talk about. So do keep it positive and do it correctly.
Perfect. What is your advice as a father of a hyper and such an energetic little 3 going on 14?
Yes, correct.
uh,
Um,
Father's
enjoy,
Day. Yeah.
enjoy, preserve, and promote their innocence. It's one of the most beautiful things you'll ever come across. Um, it's before influence of anything else, and mm, there's nothing more pure. Enjoy it, and it breeds creativity and it breeds brilliance, and it's our responsibility to maximize in any way their opportunities in any way possible that we can, and their chances, and promote and enjoy their innocence. It's so important. That's all I talk about with my son is innocence.
Yes, and I exactly how I feel. I hate to do this to you. That was supposed to be your final question, but we have Rohan Parsan. He said to ask Kiara about his Mastana title with no front teeth.
Yeah, that's what we talk about. What
Yes,
part of our night? I have
but
zero problems. That is correct. I did not have any
wow, I wish I could have captured a photo or something from that one to show
it's
here
there.
right now.
It's there on YouTube. I'll send you the video, Shameeza. You'll see.
Definitely. Well, Ki, I want to thank you. You're amazing here tonight. I thank you for taking the time to be here with us on Get Real with Shameeza. I look forward to many more times you being here on the show. Please feel free to come back. Give us whenever your new music is out, or you can talk about it and perform it. As a matter of fact, we will be happy to have you back here. Truly an honor. I wish you a happy Father's Day, and I thank you.
Thank you so much. Right before I run away too, I would like to
Yes.
say happy Father's Day to all fathers out there. I believe actually some good friends of mine, Videsi and crew, the entire family, the entire company, they're normally tuned in as well too. So I want to say hello to them. And to everybody, man, you guys just stay safe, stay strong, stay positive. We're gonna get out of this soon, and do look out for us, KI and the band, Savita Singh, you saw Herni Valchet, Lal Ranjiv, the entire crew. We're gonna be somewhere in your city, most likely sooner than later. So see you guys soon, and thank you so much, Shamiza, for having me.
Looking forward to it.
Until next time,
Take care of yourself. Bye
take care.
bye.
You too. Bye bye.
Well, there, guys, you heard it. You heard from Ki. You heard from Sarwan. You know, today I have learned a lot about my guest. I have learned with perseverance and determination, you can be anything you set your mind to. A special thank you to Vermin Bedesi Foundation and World Care Organization for special giveaways tonight. I would like to wish my dad, my stepdad, and the father of my kids a very special Father's Day. And to all dads out there, happy Father's Day to you. Take care. Until next time, I love you guys. Bye. Bye bye.